All three teams play their games here at the TD Bank Sports Center, where this season the women's basketball team went undefeated. Well, it looks like Incognito is no longer in hiding. Offensive lineman Richie Incognito, famous for the Jonathan Martin bullying incident in 2013, is back. Uber drivers, however, get a notification on their phone, and they can choose whether or not to take it. Last Friday, the Quinnipiac men's hockey team took on Yale at the High Point Solutions Arena in the TD Bank Sports Center. A popular study habit among students has become pulling an all-nighter. But the question is, does it really help? And it's proven that yoga can help reduce stress. The Atlanta Mindfulness Institute offers a unique 8-week course on the idea of mindfulness. Clearly, the road to the NCAA tournament goes through the TD Bank Sports Center for the Bobcats. I'm Joe Schiavone, QNN Sports. What do the women's basketball team,
scores!
the women's hockey team,
Peckett comes in on the right wing side, backhand shot, score!
and the men's hockey team have in common? All three of them made the NCAA tournament this past season. This is a school record for Quinnipiac, having three teams make the national tournament in the same season. The women's basketball team received an automatic bid after winning the MAC championship over 9-time defending champion Marist in only their second year in the MAC. This is their second trip to the NCAA tournament in 3 years and recorded a program record 31 wins. The women's hockey team made the tournament after just missing out last year. Junior Rob Siamber explains what a great accomplishment this was.
I think it's huge, especially for the women's ice hockey team, first time in program history. And this is a team that's only been Division I since, I think it's 2001. And, that's pretty big how far this program has come.
Staying on the ice, the men's hockey team found out they made the tournament for the third straight year this past Sunday. This team has been on the national stage for a few years now, thanks to a magical run to the Frozen Four 2 years ago. Siamber explains what this means for the future of the program.
I think it's a great thing for them, third year in a row. It's going to be tough for them, it was tough last year. But I think it's something that it's a good experience for the team. It definitely draws attention for recruitment. And I think we've seen that, with taking in Sam Annis, Landon Smith, players like that.
All three teams play their games here at the TD Bank Sports Center, where this season the women's basketball team went undefeated and the two hockey teams combined for only 7 losses. Clearly, the road to the NCAA tournament goes through the TD Bank Sports Center for the Bobcats. I'm Joe Schiavone, QNN Sports. The Arnold Bernhard Library on Quinnipiac's Mount Carmel campus can be a second home for some students. This popular study spot brings in students at every hour of the day. Junior Joe DeGreca explains how often he goes to the library.
I go to the library to study. Usually stay there between my classes. Say, for instance, I have an 8 a.m. I would go for 3 hours. Depending on who do I see is depending on how much work I get done.
Focusing on only studying can be hard, whether it's seeing people you know or going on social media sites like Facebook or Twitter. Quinnipiac Dean of Education Kevin Basmajian says trying to multitask doesn't actually work.
There are a lot of myths about what's called multitasking, and in fact the research in the brain really says that our brains really can't multitask, that we really need to be more focused on tasks at hand. So I think there's this perception that students can have Facebook open, have another website open, maybe even have a book open, and then they can actually take that information in, but actually research says that that's not the case.
With distractions causing less work being done, students are forced to find other ways to get their work done on time. A popular study habit among students has become pulling an all-nighter. But the question is, does it really help?
Get out into the real world, right? You don't often have 3 weeks to get something done. You sometimes do have just a day or 24 hours. And you in broadcast journalism, you probably are going to have that kind of pressure. So I think it could actually be a benefit in terms of preparing you for the way that world really is. And that is, sometimes you don't have 3 weeks to do a paper. Sometimes your editor says, I need this tomorrow, and you've got to go up and do it. So I think that there's probably some benefit to those, but I don't think the level of retention is what it would be if you worked on something over a course of a week or 2 or 3 weeks.
All-nighters can lead to sleep deprivation, thus resulting in students being unprepared for class and possibly seeing their grades go down. Sociology professor Alan Bruce explains why all-nighters don't work.
You're not really reflecting on material and you're not really engaging with material, and so you're going to inevitably learn less.
Not all students have obtained this habit, but we may begin to see less studying going on in the library than in the past. Joe Schiavone, Q30 News. Students at Quinnipiac use taxis every weekend. They are used to dialing all those sevens to get them to places like Toad's Place in New Haven and other clubs and bars. With Uber right on their phones now, they can set up a ride in seconds. Uber driver Brian Bin says they love it because it's cheaper and easier to pay.
The students love it because, from Quinnipiac to Toad's, it's regular in taxi is $40. Now it's $30. And they could use their credit card, and not just using their credit card, they could split the ride. So they love this Uber stuff.
When Metro taxi drivers get a call for a ride, they are sent out on it right away. Uber drivers, however, get a notification on their phone, and they can choose whether or not to take it.
Look at it. My app is on, but for instance, if I pick it up right now,
Right.
I'm just 3 minutes away from the pickup area. So that tells you what it is. Now, because I'm doing this interview, I'm not picking it up. The next guy closer to this job picks it up.
Regular taxi services have to buy a license to operate their vehicles, so the rate the passenger pays, along with tips, is what makes the money back. Business professor Dale Jasinski explains how Uber operates differently.
And they say, you've already got your car, you already have time, we'll provide you with people that'll pay you money to take them from one place to another. And they skirt then the ability to have to buy the medallions and have to comply with the regulations to be a service. So they can take that savings and regulation money that they have to pay and reduce the rates then that you pay for the service of getting from one point to another.
Uber's user-friendly business has its stock rising. Only time will tell how successful Uber can really be. For JRN 311, I'm Joe Schiavone.